Yo, before I start, this is for entertainment purposes only. We're not, giving any specific advice. I have to get that out there because, I feel like some of the topics that I might cover in today's video may not exactly be the most, I guess you could call kid-friendly kind of thing. So, yeah, but your flaws are a blessing and you should use them wisely, or at least listen to them pretty wisely. I was just chilling and I was like, you know what? Stuff like depression and anxiety, laziness, grief, hopelessness, and a bunch of other stuff. What are they really here for? And so I was thinking, they are actually blessings in some way. Let me explain. And I think our, body or our emotional body communicates with us in such a way, in kind of sync with your mind to kind of produce these kind of things. So I know it might suck to go through them, but maybe let's try and change the perspective of why they're even there in the first place, and potentially what challenge you're going through at the moment. Now, before I start, you're never alone. You're always supported no matter what. Even if you don't feel like it, you are. If it's me, then you're supported by me. If it's, the chair that you're sitting on or whatever it is that you're sitting on, it could be that. Your feet are being supported by, the earth and stuff like that. So I know it sounds cheesy, but something has your back at all kind of times. So we'll start off with anxiety, because I think a lot of people kind of go through this, and it's not exactly a bad thing because sometimes you need it. Obviously its use case was to kind of help us in survival, and in the modern world it's not so great, because there's no kind of specific threat like a saber-toothed tiger or, I don't know, some kind of beast that's out there that can basically kill us. But the reason why I can say nowadays is kind of more of a potential blessing to have is because it's misguided energy. Now, it puts you in a state of fight or flight, right? Which is like your heart's pumping fast, your breathing gets shallow. And what happens at this exact same time? In a more joyful state, adrenaline, when you're playing sports or you're really excited about things, you kind of get a very similar feeling, just not in the same direction. Your body responses are the same in that sense. So let's try and think of anxiety as just being energy, kind of, misguided in the wrong direction. We can actually utilize that energy and actually use it to complete tasks to get ahead. But because our kind of, you could call monkey brain doesn't really get that, it's important for us to change our perspective. And when you're kind of converting that sort of anxiety kind of state of mind into something where you're getting a lot of energy to do something, that stuff is powerful, man. And you'd be surprised at how quickly you can achieve what it is, because you do have that surplus of energy in this kind of state. Hope you're getting the message. As for depression, I guess this is a sign where, again, like I said, these are very tricky topics, so take it with a grain of salt. These are just potential solutions or kind of ideas. If you're in these states of minds, obviously, always consult a professional, get yourself some help, and all that stuff. But if this helps in any kind of way, then yeah, I'll be happy. I ain't no licensed person to talk about this though, so again, keep that in mind. Anyway, depression. Not kind of, you could say, feeling fulfilled. And this kind of puts yourself in a kind of self-aware kind of state of mind where you think that things aren't right, stuff is unfair, life is unfair, and you don't feel like you're good enough, whatever it may be, right? There's a lot of different causes for depression. But this can teach you into figuring out how to create a life full of purpose. I think having that kind of purpose in life and that kind of reason for, living or whatever it may be, is a very, very big, I don't want to say cure, but it kind of is like a quick cure to depression. And so again, like I said, that kind of energy that's in there, where you're kind of starting to realize how flawed the world is, and maybe even how flawed you are. Again, channeling this kind of energy in the right direction where you can find that life purpose of yours, or you can kind of figure out how to navigate in a world like this. Very, very brief and vague, I'm going to keep it as that. And if we go into laziness next, you're very smart. You're a very, very smart person. Because you know that some things aren't right. And doesn't really make sense. Again, it kind of links to that sort of self-awareness as I was talking about in depression. And you have a gift to kind of create easier solutions for certain things, so embrace it. Embrace that laziness to kind of use as creativity if you need to. I think it's, who was it? Was it Bill Gates or someone famous who said something about they'd rather hire a lazy person than a hard worker because they come up with more efficient solutions? It's true, but your energy is obviously into the things that keep you at bay. And so once you kind of use this kind of energy into, again, creating creative solutions to certain problems, this is where you could probably shine the most. And so again, like I said, you can fall into any one of these categories, or even multiple. You know, no human is perfect, so we're all learning. We're all kind of striving to become better, even if it doesn't seem like it. Fact of the matter is, even if you clicked on this video, whether it appeared on your recommended or subscriber or however, you probably want to get better. And so you can kind of use these quote unquote flaws, change your opinion on them, and reverse your whole life around. It's definitely possible. And I think this is something that kind of should be taught more, or at least have more awareness of, because oftentimes in society we kind of demonize these feelings and certain kind of emotions that you may have, when it shouldn't be like that. I don't think, at least. I think it should be a thing of embracing it, using it, and again, listening to, I guess you could call it intuition, or maybe you could just call it, you know, whatever it is that you want to call it in science. I don't know. But learning from what it is exactly that it's teaching you. Also, if you made it this far into the video, again, leave a comment if you kind of need to get anything off your chest. Maybe you need to vent, wherever it may be, right? Because you never know, another viewer might just have some good advice for you that you could take on board, process it, and develop your own kind of strategy to kind of combat what it is that you're going through. And you can win the battle. You should win the battle. That is life itself. And always remember, no matter what it is that you're going through, there is always hope, and there's always another day to shine. So be grateful to even be able to breathe today, and give thanks to yourself. Be proud of yourself. On that note, stay blessed. Have a great rest of your day. I'm out. Peace.